My name is Michelle, a 39-year-old janitor who's been working for a housekeeping company that serves corporate offices since I was just 20 years old. I'm a single woman in my late 30s, approaching 2 decades of dedicated service. Why did I choose this job? Well, it all began because I needed to care for my mother, who fell gravely ill when I was younger. We were a small family of 3, just my mother, my younger brother, and me, living in a single-parent household. When my mother's health took a turn for the worse, I had no choice but to drop out of vocational school. I needed a job that gave me the flexibility to accompany her to medical appointments and provide the care she desperately needed. This job, though not glamorous, allowed me to balance those responsibilities. And you know what? I'm truly grateful I ended up here. My boss and colleagues have always been incredibly understanding, warmly calling me Michelle, sweetie, and making me feel like part of a family. I even have a small team of staff working under me, and they're just as wonderful. For a long time, I thought there was no better workplace than this. But life hasn't always been easy. When I was 25 and my brother was just 19, we suffered a devastating loss. Our mother passed away. It was late fall, just as winter was creeping in, and her death hit me like a ton of bricks. I was overwhelmed with grief and started taking more time off work, even though it was our company's busiest season, with year-end deep cleaning projects piling up. Despite the terrible timing, my colleagues were nothing short of amazing. They reassured me, saying, "It's okay, Michelle. We'll wait for you to feel better. Take all the time you need." Their kindness touched me deeply, but I was in a dark place, consumed by sorrow. I felt like I wanted to follow my mother, to escape the pain. But then I thought of my younger brother, who had lost his mother before he even reached adulthood. Out of love and responsibility for him, I pulled myself together and kept working. At the time, my brother was still in college, and I took on the role of his provider. I paid for his textbooks, drove him home on late nights after classes, and even gave him a suit as a celebration gift when he landed his first job. My income was modest, but I worked tirelessly, seeing myself as a stand-in for our late mother. However, as time passed, my brother's attitude toward me began to change. He started saying things like, "Why don't you quit being a janitor, Michelle? Why don't you get a better job?" I think he was embarrassed by my low income and our modest social standing. Those words stung, especially since I was still grieving and not in the best mental state to consider changing careers. Thankfully, my coworkers were my rock, offering kind words and support that helped me through those tough times. Eventually, my brother worked hard and landed a job at a prestigious corporation, a well-known company you'd recognize from TV commercials and online ads. His starting salary was nearly double mine, and he was ecstatic, like a little boy who'd just received a pile of New Year's money. "Look at this, sis," he'd say, waving his payslip in my face. "I've surpassed you in just 1 month. Incredible, right? Check this out. It's amazing." He couldn't stop bragging to anyone who'd listen. "Sis, quit that janitor job and get a good one like me," he'd say. Or worse, "Hey, watch how you talk. I love my job." I'd reply, only for him to snap back, "Quit making excuses. Our salaries are no match." I wished he'd choose his words more carefully, but I was relieved his hard work was paying off. Sitting in front of my mother's portrait, I whispered to her, "Your son is all grown up now, Mom." But my boastful younger brother, so proud of his job and his company, was heading down a dangerous path. He was skilled at his work and loved to brag about the praise he received from his boss, even as a new employee. I heard he was even picked to work on a major project early on, which made me proud as his sister. But then I noticed something troubling. He started making condescending remarks about his colleagues, and it only got worse over time. "I'm doing so well, getting all this recognition," he'd say, "but my peers? They're just slow to pick things up. If their incompetence drags my reputation down, it'll be unbearable." He spoke without hesitation, as if he believed he was above everyone else, not just at work, but in the world. I knew this attitude would hurt him if it continued, so I tried to warn him. I think all the new hires are about the same level, you know. You're all just starting out, I said gently. His response? Wow, sis, you're pretty talkative for a janitor with a low-level education. He sneered, and I was frustrated, but pressed on. I've been in the workplace longer than you, so I know there's not much difference in people's abilities. His reply cut deep. Really? Do you have any college graduates at your cleaning company? Before you lecture me, why don't you tell them they've wasted their lives? With that, he belittled me and stormed out to go drinking. I thought to myself, that kid's going to get a reality check from the workplace soon. Despite my warnings, my brother's arrogance only grew worse. It started with him feeling superior because his salary was higher than mine, but it morphed into a distorted self-perception. He believed he was uniquely gifted, and it twisted his personality. He became outspoken, never holding back his criticism of me. At first, I thought he was just excited about his new job, so I let it slide. I tried gentle verbal warnings, but they went over his head. When I scolded him more seriously, there was still no change. I began to lose confidence in myself as a sister, wondering if I'd failed to guide him properly. Before I knew it, years passed. I continued working as a janitor, while my brother seemed to be climbing the corporate ladder. But his contemptuous attitude toward others grew even worse. Then he moved in with his girlfriend, and they got married. His wife had an inflated sense of arrogance, too, which added to my stress. She was much younger than him, almost from a different generation, and our first conversation was a shock. When my brother introduced us, she said, "So, you really are a janitor?" I replied, "Yes, I find it fulfilling and enjoyable." Her response? "Really? Isn't it dirty?" I couldn't stand it. "It must smell bad." My brother, listening nearby, chimed in, "Right? It's unimaginable, isn't it? It's unsanitary, and she's not attractive. She doesn't have any money either, but what can I do? I'm related to her." Sorry about that. I was stunned by their words and don't remember much of what happened next. After she left, I yelled at my brother, "You were out of line." "What do you mean? I'm related to her, so it can't be helped. And what's up with her? Don't you dare judge people by their jobs or income." Surprised by my outburst, he stammered but retorted, "Shut up. You're a vocational school dropout, and I'm a college graduate. So is she. We can't help but look down on you. You earn less and have a bottom-tier job, so you're the one leading a loser's life." With that, he stormed out. I cried, overwhelmed by sadness and frustration. The reason I dropped out of vocational school was to care for our mother during her illness, a fact my brother knew well. Yet his words cut so deeply. Yes, my income was modest, but I still managed to scrape together the money for his college tuition. I did my best to fill our mother's role, but I must have made mistakes in how I dealt with him. Looking in the mirror, tears streaming down my face, I was bothered by his comment about my appearance. My brother and I share similar features. I'm neither beautiful nor cute, but I didn't think I was that ugly. Still, I wondered if I could do more to take care of myself. If I paid more attention to my looks, would he see me differently? But even if I dolled myself up, his personality wasn't likely to change. Marrying a woman with similar values probably only amplified his narcissism. Talking to my coworkers about this, I began to fear my relationship with my brother might be beyond repair. One day, I received a postcard from my brother and his wife. "We've moved," it read. I had no idea they were planning to relocate. Judging by the address, it seemed to be a standalone house. What's this all about? I wondered. They're so secretive. If they'd told me, I would have thrown a celebration or helped them move. I had something to discuss with them, too, so I decided to call after a long time. "Hello," I said, hearing my brother's cheerful voice on the other end. It's amazing, right? A single-family house at my age. I'm a fast tracker, sis. It'd be impossible if it weren't me, right? His usual bragging was oddly nostalgic, so I let him talk as much as he wanted. Then I brought up my news. "So, I have something to talk about too. My company just got contracted to clean your office building." We might bump into each other occasionally. His tone shifted slightly. Good for you. You wouldn't get to step foot in such a big building otherwise, right? I ignored his jab and continued. There's one more thing. I got a boyfriend. What? Seriously? He said, genuinely surprised. Yes, he's older and a wonderful man. After what you said, I started taking better care of my skin and appearance. He fell for me at first sight, I said jokingly. Well, then, that's thanks to me, huh? He replied, somehow taking credit. I wouldn't say you didn't play a part, I said, trying to keep things light. I want to introduce him to you. He's eager to meet you, too. Would it be okay if we visited your place soon? We could bring a housewarming gift. His cheerful tone darkened instantly. You're coming over. I was confused. You do understand what your job is, don't you? He said. Huh? You mean my cleaning job? I asked. Listen, I've got a new house, which means it's clean, right? I don't want a filthy person like a janitor coming in. I was stunned. Was he saying that because I'm a janitor? I'm too dirty to visit his new home? My mind went blank. Considering the dirty work you do, shouldn't you know to refrain from visiting people's places? He continued. I'm sure your coworkers feel the same. You're out of line. That's rude. Apologize, I said, my blood boiling. What the hell? I shouted, unable to contain myself. You've got some nerve disrespecting people like that. This is unacceptable. I could have handled it if it was just about me, but he was mocking my colleagues too. I couldn't let that slide. My harsh words shocked him. He was always quick to attack, but faltered when faced with pushback. Do you genuinely believe a person's worth is determined by their job? That's nonsense. Apologize to me right now. What? Why are you freaking out all of a sudden? He stammered. I've had enough of you. How did you turn into such a scumbag? Mom would be heartbroken. Scumbag? The real scumbag is you. Your so-called boyfriend must be some good-for-nothing guy. If he had any sense, he wouldn't be with a cleaning lady. If you weren't my sister, I'd never get involved with a dirty woman like you. If you weren't my brother, I'd have left you in the dust long ago. I shot back. I'm cutting ties with you. Never contact me again. Oh, okay, goodbye then, he replied. We both hurled hurtful words, locked in a petty argument with no room for maturity. He tried to say more, but I hung up. I prepared myself to sever ties with my only sibling. Our values were too different, and I couldn't stand him anymore. In his eyes, I, a janitor, had no basic human rights. For both our sakes, it was best to keep our distance. Months later, by some twist of fate, I was assigned to clean the office building where my brother worked. My boss likely thought it was a kind gesture, but I dreaded it. Still, my creed was to do my best at any task, so I suppressed my feelings and headed to his company. The building was massive, with sprawling spaces, and I thought, with all this space, I can probably avoid running into him. Even if we did meet, he might not recognize me. Feeling slightly relieved, I focused on cleaning, pushing my cart of supplies. That afternoon, while mopping the floor, I noticed a group of 5 men by the vending machine, sipping canned coffee and talking. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience caused, one said. Enough is enough. How many years have you been with us? Consult and report before things get to a point where the whole team has to clean up your mess, another replied. Yes, sir. It's happened 3 times this quarter. I'm sorry, sir. The man apologizing had messed up, and his team was covering for him. I kept mopping, avoiding their direction, thinking, good job, guys. Then I heard, while your peers have already become team leaders, some even managers, you need to step up your game. I'm sorry, the man replied. Ouch, harsh words, I thought. I wish they'd let him off soon. I need to mop down this hallway, but they're in the way. After scolding him again, the group returned to their office. As they passed, I saw a familiar face, my brother. The one being scolded was him. No way. He saw me, froze, went pale, and quickly followed his team without a word. During the rest of my shift, my mind kept drifting to him. He was supposed to be the fastest rising star among his colleagues, but the man I saw looked like a burden to his team, constantly apologizing for mistakes. My years as a janitor had given me insight into corporate dynamics, and I could tell his claims of competence were just vanity. He might have started strong, but likely got complacent and was overtaken by his peers. His condescending attitude probably didn't help. Still, I told myself there's no need to worry about him. We're strangers now. A few days later, while cleaning the main lobby, I saw him again. He came down the elevator with someone. "Darn, I left the bag with the samples upstairs," his colleague said. "I'll go get it." "You wait here, sir." "No need, I'll go." "You're useless anyway," the colleague replied. "But when you get promoted, you'll take care of me, okay?" My brother, shrinking in the corner of the lobby, looked pitiful. My senior colleague, cleaning nearby, whispered, "Hey, isn't that your brother?" "Uh-huh, yes." "Seems like he messed up. Let's leave him be." She nodded, looking worried, and returned to her duties. Whether bothered by our sympathetic gazes, my brother sprang up and marched over. "Hey, janitor, what are you doing?" "I'm cleaning," I replied coolly. "No, I mean, why are you here?" "I'm working." He grew visibly angry, raising his voice. "Don't you dare tell my wife I look pathetic at work, you got that?" His workplace frustrations were clearly being vented on me. Onlookers' gazes gathered on him. Concerned, I whispered, "You're trying, shut up. Don't you, a lowly educated person, order me around. People are watching." "Oh, dear brother, please, can you be quiet?" I said, trying to calm him by touching his hand. He recoiled. "EW, you're filthy. Don't touch me." He wiped his hand aggressively, continuing his insults. "You're threatening me, aren't you? You want money, right? How much do you want me to cough up?" "Threaten? Money? What are you talking about?" I asked, dumbfounded. "I told you not to tell my wife." "Get it already, you idiot." "Oh, that's what this is about. The constant mistakes at work or falling behind on the corporate ladder. Which don't you want me to tell?" "Both, obviously," he shouted, genuinely scared I'd reveal his professional struggles to his wife. "Wait, you're even lying to your own wife? Shut up. No garbage like you should speak." "Garbage? What on earth?" He didn't care about the onlookers, just kept belittling me. The stress from his job must have been intense, and he was using me as a punching bag. "I'm not your punching bag," I snapped. Just then, a voice came from behind. "That's rude to the cleaning staff." "Shut up." "Huh? Who are you?" My brother, finally noticing the crowd, looked around. A well-dressed, gray-haired man stepped forward, his social status evident. My brother panicked. The man stood beside me, placing a hand gently on my back. "Dirty? Idiot?" Such intolerable slurs. "Apologize to her right now." "Huh? But she's my sister." "We're just having a family squabble," he stammered, trying to gloss over it. I interjected. "I thought you said you cut ties with me." He showed his dual nature, acting humble toward the man while snapping at me. The man chimed in, "If it's a family issue, it concerns me, too." "Huh," my brother said, confused. "Pleased to meet you. I'm the gentleman dating your sister." "What?" My brother was stunned. "I'm the executive vice president of the subsidiary your company is seconding. I'm also a board member of your company. Sorry we didn't meet sooner." My brother was in a state of panic, completely out of his depth. I shot my boyfriend a side-eye, feeling awkward. "You didn't have to step in just now." "If not now, then when?" he said with a warm smile, imitating a popular TV host. "Hey, sis, is that true?" my brother asked, terrified. "Indeed. When we were contracted to clean this building, I accompanied our CEO. He, in charge of the contract, took an interest in me." "No, that's a lie." "It's the truth," my boyfriend said. During the contract signing, I instantly fell for her. She explained the details so well on behalf of the CEO, who wasn't great at it, and I asked her out. A wave of gasps echoed through the lobby. How embarrassing, I thought. "I heard you said no decent man would date a cleaning lady," that he must not have a solid job, my boyfriend continued. I didn't say that, my brother protested. Regardless, I demand an apology for the insults you hurled at your sister. My brother, pale and cornered, had no choice but to listen. My senior cleaner and colleagues from other floors gathered, too. You're Michelle's brother, aren't you? You shouldn't worry her too much, my senior said. My brother, defeated, bowed his head. I'm sorry, he mumbled, his voice small and devoid of vigor. Afterward, he was transferred to a remote branch of a subsidiary. For my boyfriend's honor, let me clarify, he had no involvement in the transfer. My brother's repeated insults and fear of his wife learning about his workplace failures led to more mistakes, costing him his fast-track status. His wife came crying to me when she learned of the transfer. You're dating an executive at his company, aren't you? Why didn't you tell me? Please bring him back to the head office, she begged. My answer was a firm no, unable to pay their mortgage with his reduced salary. They had to let go of their new home. I have no interest in their fate. As for me, I married my boyfriend, and we're living happily in our new home. I'm still a cleaner, but I'm now the president of the company I've always worked for, nominated as the successor when the former president retired. I had doubts, but I decided to give it my all for the company I love. No matter what anyone says, I'll keep doing this job with my head held high. My name is Kathy, a 33-year-old single woman and freelance web designer. My job allows me to work from home with just a laptop, setting my own pace. It's a fantastic career, but 2 years ago, a disruptive presence turned my peaceful life upside down, my parents. One day, while I was working, they showed up unannounced. As soon as they walked in, they looked around and started talking as if I wasn't there. This house is huge, Mom, my father said. It seems like we could live here too. Absolutely, my mother replied. There's even a spare room. It's a waste for Kathy to live here alone. Yeah, let's move in this weekend, they agreed, completely ignoring me. I was stunned. Wait a minute, I said firmly. I have no intention of living with you guys. My father's face turned red. What are you saying? This house was taken over from your uncle. There's a limit to how selfish you can be. Take over. I countered. I had a proper conversation with Uncle, and he gave it to me. Don't make excuses, he snapped. Our old house is falling apart. Your mother and I are moving here this weekend. This house was indeed given to me by my uncle, my father's brother, who adored me. The title is still in his name, but he told me I could use it as I pleased. My parents' home was old and needed major renovations, which they couldn't afford with my mother as a housewife and my father's modest salary. So they set their sights on my house. I wasn't thrilled, but they'd already sold their home and claimed they had nowhere else to go. Reluctantly, I let them move in. From the moment they arrived, they started throwing sarcastic comments my way. Hey, Kathy, you're over 30, aren't you? No plans to get married, my mother would say. I'm enjoying my work right now, I'd reply. Keep talking like that, and you'll never get married. Why don't you learn from your sister? My sister's married life wasn't exactly a success, but I held my tongue. I'm fine for now, I'd say. Then my mother would interrupt. Don't badmouth your sister. Unlike you, she's married and works for a company. I might not be married, but I'm doing a decent job, too, I'd retort. You're always messing around on your computer. Probably making money through shady means, right? Shady means? I'm doing legitimate work. I'd snap. How dare you talk back to your mother? You're the complete opposite of your sister. That's how it was. They constantly compared me to my sister, a temp at an office job. I earned more than her, but they didn't understand freelancing and belittled me relentlessly. One day, as I prepared dinner in place of my idle parents, the doorbell rang. To my shock, it was my sister, Sandy, with a mountain of luggage. Long time no see, Kathy, she said. This is sudden, but I'll be living here from today. Huh, I blurted, confused. What a large house. If Uncle was giving it to someone, it should have been me. Hold on living here? I didn't hear about this. Didn't Mom and Dad tell you? I got divorced, so I'll be counting on you. Ignoring my protests, she trudged upstairs and took over an empty room. My parents sided with her, and I was powerless to stop it. From then on, my stress skyrocketed. Sandy, jobless after her divorce, spent her days chatting with our mother. "Isn't this dress cute, Mom?" she'd say. "Oh, yes, Sandy, you're so pretty. It'll suit you. It's totally not something Kathy would wear, right?" Well, Kathy's a bit plain. That's why she can't get hired anywhere. All she does is play online at home. They made sure I overheard their cruel conversations while I cooked. I wanted to retaliate, but that would only give them satisfaction, so I stayed silent. Then, a friend's dog had a litter of puppies, and I adopted one, a black Chihuahua named Muffin with adorable round eyes. Owning a Chihuahua was a childhood dream, and working from home could be lonely, so Muffin was perfect. "You're Muffin from now on, okay?" I said, and he barked happily. I didn't consult my family, it's my house, and I'd cover his expenses. As expected, they complained. "We didn't hear about a dog," my mother said. "Dogs smell." "I hate odors," my father added. "How could you bring a dog home without consulting us?" Sandy chimed in. "First, I didn't pick him up off the street, a friend gave him to me. Second, I'm paying for everything, so there's no issue. What I keep in my house is my business. If you don't like it, you're free to leave." They were furious, but within hours, they were smitten with Muffin's cuteness, fawning over him. "Aren't you adorable? Are you mommies? Daddies? Sisses?" I was baffled. What happened to their anger? The peace didn't last. One day, while I was out, Sandy called, shouting, "Come back now." "What happened?" I asked. "Muffin did his business on my clothes. What if they smell?" "Just wash them quickly," I said. "Isn't it your fault for leaving clothes on the floor?" "What? It's my fault? It's your poor training. Muffin's a puppy. If you took him for a walk, he wouldn't do that. You said you'd walk him today, did you?" "I was going to later. Pay for the clothes." When I got home, Sandy was livid, and my parents glared at me. Sandy threw the soiled clothes at me. "I'm charging you for the cleaning cost." "Why should I? You didn't walk him and left your clothes out." "Shut up. It's because you brought this stupid dog home." "Stupid dog? You were fond of him before. Isn't it harsh to call him that over an accident?" "It's your poor training. Take responsibility." My parents chimed in, "Kathy, shouldn't you apologize to Sandy? All this happened because of that dog. Can you give it a rest? Puppies are like babies. Can't you forgive a mistake?" Pathetic. Sandy snapped. "You made the right choice not getting married. You'd never raise a decent child." "How dare you say that?" I retorted. Then Sandy pointed at me. "I can't take it anymore. I don't need you or this dumb dog. Get out of this house." "What? A home-working freeloader? Who's paying for this household?" "Me." My parents joined in. "That's right, Kathy. Leave. You're a jinx." All three kept chanting, "Get out." My anger exploded. "That's it. I've reached my limit. Just wait." I packed my things, took Muffin, and left. Sandy added, "This is your fault. If you'd listened obediently, none of this would have happened." A few days later, Sandy called in a panic. "Kathy, help. What happened to the house?" "I've decided to sell it." "What? You don't have the authority." "I do. The house is mine. Uncle officially transferred the title to me a month ago." She was shocked, as I hadn't told anyone. "You're kidding. You can't sell it so easily." "I consulted Uncle after you kicked me out. He said, 'It's yours, Kathy. Do what you want. Get away from that stupid family.'" My parents, overhearing, started shouting, "Cut it out. We have nowhere to live. It's unthinkable to do this to your family. Respect." I asked coldly, "You've always looked down on me, compared me to Sandy. Who's been supporting you? You had nowhere to live, so I let you stay. Who kicked me and Muffin out? You belong in hell." My father begged, "Please, we're sorry. Fend for yourselves, you idiots." I hung up and blocked their contacts. Muffin looked worried, but I reassured him, "It's okay now. I'll protect you." They were forced to move out, unable to afford a decent life with my father's income and Sandy's unemployment. Their family ties worsened, but I have no interest in their fate. I'm now living happily with Muffin in a pet-friendly apartment, working freely and spending my earnings on us. Muffin, let's go to the dog park, I said, and he barked, livelier than ever. I'll protect him and live peacefully from now on. My name is Melissa Brown, and I run a popular restaurant in New York City. It's a bit self-flattering, but we've been featured on national TV and in magazines, with nearly every seat booked for lunch and dinner. Fame brings challenges, though, like nuisance calls and aggressive sales pitches. One day, I got a call that I assumed was a prank. A young woman's voice demanded, "Your son made me pregnant. Pay $30,000 as alimony." She didn't even give her name, and I thought, this must be a joke. My son, Chet, is only 3 years old, hardly capable of such a thing. Still, the shocking accusation intrigued me, so I decided to hear her out for a bit. I had an abortion. What are you going to do about the wounds to my body and soul? Pay for the surgery, too, she said. Politely, as is the service industry way, I asked, "First, may I ask who I'm speaking to?" My staff glanced over, sensing this wasn't a typical reservation call. I waved to reassure them. "I'm a customer at your restaurant. Is that the first thing you say after your son hurt me? Your family lacks common sense and compassion." "I find it hard to believe my son would do such a thing," I replied. "Your son assaulted me on a dark street." "You recognized him in the dark?" "Of course. I'm certain it was your son who lives with you." "I've been so scared I can't go out alone." "What are you going to do?" "I think you're mistaking my son for someone else. Can we meet in person to discuss this?" Most prank callers back off at this suggestion, but she refused. Meet with the criminal's parent? How dare you suggest that to a victim? "I'd like to verify your story in person." "Are you saying I'm lying?" "That's not what I mean," I said, holding back my urge to call her out. "I can't believe a person like you is a business owner," she ranted, still refusing to meet. "So, what do you want me to do?" "Pay me $30,000. It's a case of mistaken identity, and I can't afford that amount." "You can pay. I know your business is thriving. It's a small place. $30,000 is a lot, and I don't intend to pay without proof. Are you sure you want to involve the police?" "I don't mind." When I didn't hesitate, she fell silent. If my son did this, I'd hold him accountable, but I don't think he did. "You're confident, huh? Maybe you should doubt your son." "I'd believe it with evidence." "Do you have any?" Silence. "If there's no proof, I'm hanging up." "Hold on. If there's evidence, you'll pay, right?" "I'd consider it." "Wait, I'll bring evidence." She hung up abruptly. My employee, Mr. Murphy, looked concerned. "Owner, are you okay?" "It's just a prank call," I reassured him. "She has no proof, so she won't call back." Still, I worried she might cause a scene at the restaurant. That evening, Mr. Murphy ran up, pale, holding a manila envelope. This came. Inside was a letter. "Ms. Melissa Brown, I was assaulted and impregnated by your son. Please transfer $30,000 as alimony." The recipient's name was Karen Williams. A pregnancy test was included, but it looked suspicious. "Calm down, Mr. Murphy. You know my son, right?" He relaxed. The harassment continued. Letters arrived daily, escalating to threats. "Pay up." The owner is a criminal's parent. Her son got a college girl pregnant and didn't apologize. "I'll make sure no customers come to this restaurant. It's for the good of the world." Thankfully, no claims targeted our food, but the anxiety was exhausting. Then I noticed fewer customers and empty tables. Mr. Murphy showed me a review site filled with slander, bad service, arrogant owner, worsening food. Our star rating plummeted. Furious, I realized this was no ordinary prank. A week later, a regular, Mr. Anderson, was at the counter with a young woman. "It's tough for you lately, Melissa," he said sympathetically. "Don't lose hope. We'll support your son as he atones." What? I was confused. He gestured to the woman who'd shown him a webpage about my restaurant. I feel for you, she said. I love this place, so I'll come more to help. What's written is a misunderstanding, I said. The regulars wondered why it's been empty, so I explained. She replied, You're spreading unverified rumors to our patrons? I raised my voice. The internet says you're a terrible person. I thought it wasn't true, but maybe it is, she said, twisting away dramatically. Mr. Anderson defended me, but then her bag fell, revealing a student ID, Karen Williams. So, it was you, I said, picking it up. I've been looking for you, Karen. That's not mine. I swapped it with a friend. Your face matches the ID. You're a student at Central College. No, you're mistaken. I turned to the crowd. I'm going to sue you. What did I do? She protested. You know exactly what. You called, claiming my son assaulted you, demanding alimony. She admitted it brazenly. Yes, that's me. Want to embarrass me? This could backfire on your restaurant's reputation. I had Mr. Murphy bring a laptop and a stack of harassing letters. Reading them aloud, I said, You sent these, right? There's no evidence, she claimed. I showed the review site. You did this too? Where's the evidence? I presented the pregnancy test. This red line looks like a marker. Even Mr. Anderson can see that. The crowd buzzed. It doesn't prove I wasn't assaulted, she shouted, crying for sympathy. My son is 3 years old, Chet, I said. What? She gasped. No, you have a big son. I have a picture. She showed a photo of me with a young woman. That's my niece, Taylor, a college student who boards with me. Want me to bring her to confirm? She was speechless. I've gathered evidence, fingerprints on the letters, posts traced to you. I've consulted the police and my attorney. She sank to the floor, mumbling an inaudible apology. I filed a criminal complaint for defamation and business obstruction. Karen, a big spender in debt, was expelled from college and faced harassment after her information was exposed. The slanderous posts were deleted, and my restaurant's customer numbers returned to normal. My regulars' trust never wavered, and I'll keep running this place to honor their loyalty. My name is Christy Thomas, 27 years old, raised as the elder of 2 sisters. I work in corporate office management. 3 years ago, I married John, my college sweetheart. We met at a part-time job, dated for 4 years, and now share a friendship-like bond where we can talk about anything. I'm currently 7 weeks pregnant, a miracle after 2 years of fertility treatments. We'd wanted a child since marriage, and seeing the gestational sac and tiny fetus on the ultrasound filled me with joy. I hadn't told John yet, planning a surprise. On my way home from the OB/GYN, I bought a cake and ingredients for his favorite beef stew. When he got home, his eyes widened at the feast. Wow, it's so luxurious today. Even my favorite beef stew. I thought we should have a party, I said. A party? Why all of a sudden? I handed him the ultrasound photo. He stared, then looked at me. Christy, is this real? We're becoming parents, John. Really? We're going to be parents. Yes, it's true. Our baby has finally come to us. I'm lost for words, he said, stunned. It doesn't feel real, does it? But our baby is growing inside me, steadily. Tears flowed as we hugged, his eyes brimming, too. Thank you, he kept saying, smiling gratefully. Since then, John took on more chores, cleaning the bathroom to keep me safe and shopping for heavy items. He even started booking my prenatal checkups, as I'm not great with online systems. Despite mild morning sickness, I kept working. But one night, John didn't come home by 10 p.m., unusual since he always calls after 9 p.m. when working late. I texted and called, but no response. Just past 11 p.m., I heard the door. John, welcome home. I was worried you didn't contact me. Sorry, something came up, he said, avoiding my eyes. You weren't supposed to have overtime today. Did something happen? No, just unexpected work. His evasive tone sparked unease. John, are you hiding something? What? I'm not hiding anything. Then why won't you look at me? If you've nothing to hide, Tell me where you were. I got caught up with a junior screw-up. I had to handle it. Couldn't you have messaged me like usual? I was busy. I didn't have time. He raised his voice, glaring, a first that startled me. I'm working late, and you doubt me? Is it fun making a fool of me? I'm not. I'm just asking why you were late. I said it was overtime. What more do you want? It's not about that. You didn't contact me, so it felt strange. Enough. You're stubborn. Is it because you're pregnant that you're having these delusions? What? Listen, John, when I give birth, I won't be able to work. Who'll support us? Me. If you want support, stop interfering. He stormed to the bathroom, leaving the untouched dinner I'd prepared. I was overwhelmed. Why would he say that? Calling it delusions is too harsh. From then on, John grew cold, coming home in the early hours. The days he returned by 9 p.m. became rare. He stopped helping with chores, leaving me to manage while pregnant. Exhausted, I called my sister, Karen. Hey, Karen. Sis, long time no see. What's up? I had a spat with John. You too? The more you argue, the better you get along, right? Karen, 3 years younger, works in fashion. We're close, like two peas in a pod, and she's always been my confidant. I vented for an hour, feeling lighter. At 17 weeks pregnant, my belly was showing, and I felt fine, so I kept working. But one day, I felt a twinge in my belly during lunch. Worried for my baby, I left work early and rushed to my clinic without an appointment. Expecting a long wait, I explained to the receptionist, I'm Christy Thomas. I've been having mild abdominal pain. Thomas? Please wait a moment. You're Christy Thomas, 17 weeks pregnant? We have an appointment for you. I didn't make one today, I said, confused. I checked my planner, no appointment. John had been booking them, but my next wasn't due. Uneasy, I waited. An hour later, another twinge hit. After visiting the restroom, I asked the receptionist how much longer. Thomas? You were called just now for consultation room 3. I hurried over, but the sign read in consultation. Confused, I knocked. A nurse opened the door. I'm Christy Thomas. The receptionist said I was called, but it says in consultation. You're Christy Thomas? But she's already inside. Puzzled, I pushed past. There was John. Why are you here? I demanded. Christy, what are you doing here? He stammered, trying to push me out. Explain why you're here. I'll explain later. Just leave. I want an explanation now. The doctor returned, looking puzzled. Christy? Then who did I examine? The exam room door opened, revealing Karen. Karen. I was dumbfounded. Why is the appointment under my name, and why were you in there? The doctor apologized. Mrs. Thomas, I didn't realize it wasn't you. She wore a mask, but I thought it was odd. The baby was too small for 17 weeks. Doctor, that's my sister. And that's my husband. So, the father of the baby I examined is... The doctor's gaze locked on John, whose face drained of color. John, Karen, explain from the beginning. They confessed they'd been in a relationship for a year. While I struggled with fertility treatments, they succumbed to temptation. When my pregnancy was confirmed, they were happy, but soon after, Karen learned she was pregnant, too. Scared, she asked John to accompany her to the hospital. He mistakenly booked the appointment under my name, noticed the error, and completed check-in while I was in the restroom. Karen slipped into the exam room during a staff shift change. The doctor didn't realize it wasn't me until the exam. I had my checkup, the pain was transient, and my baby was fine. I took John and Karen to our parents' house, called John's parents, and explained everything. You'll take responsibility, right? I asked John. Of course, I'll stay with you, Christy. What? We're getting a divorce. But you said responsibility. I mean alimony. You and Karen will pay for what you've done. I never intended to divorce, he protested. Karen grabbed his collar. You said you loved me more. Was that a lie? Their squabble pushed me over the edge. I splashed tea on them. Enough. I don't care about your opinions. I'm divorcing John and cutting ties with Karen. Pay the alimony quietly. Christy, I love you. I'm your sister, they pleaded. Shut up. You only say what suits you. How far will you ridicule me? I'll collect alimony by any means necessary. They begged, but it was too late. I divorced John, blocked Karen, and cut ties. They were disowned, and John's affairs spread at work, leading to his firing. Karen, jobless and suffering morning sickness, lived miserably with him. I moved to my parents' house, switched to remote work, and am eagerly awaiting my child's birth. I'll love my child with all my heart, even as a single mother, and my name is Ashley, living a peaceful life with my husband, John. But there's one issue, my brother's wife, Rachel. She and my brother, Chris, have a 3-year-old daughter, Ada, our beloved niece. We love playing with her, but Rachel drops her off at our home almost every week. Ashley, please take care of Ada again, she'd say. All right, Ada, be a good girl. Ada would trot into our living room, where John would watch her. As freelancers, I'm an illustrator, John's a programmer. We can set our schedules, but caring for a child during crunch time is tough. I felt guilty, but finally told Rachel, John and I love Ada, but having her every week is burdensome. Her face turned angry. You wouldn't understand, Ashley, since you don't have children. Raising kids is hard. You have no idea how tough it's been with Ada. Stop complaining. Her words stabbed me. John and I are infertile, undergoing taxing fertility treatments. Her comment about not understanding because I'm childless hurt deeply. Unlike you two, cooped up at home, I'm sociable. I have friends who rely on me. Today, I'm off to London to see a friend. You shut-ins should appreciate I'm doing my part. Take care of Ada and quit complaining. She left, leaving a waft of perfume. John, overhearing, was furious. That was too harsh. A month later, I called Chris. Hey, bro, Ada's a sweetheart, but leaving her every week is a burden. We've got deadlines. Ada? She's sleeping at home, he said, sending a photo of her asleep, not the Ada we knew. I sent him a photo of the girl with us. Who's that? He asked. The last time I saw Ada, she was a baby. We realized the child might not be Ada. John hesitantly asked, Chris, hasn't Rachel been acting strange? After her parents' passing, Rachel's style changed to flashy colors and accessories. Chris said I might have an idea. I'll call back. Suspecting infidelity, we asked the girl, You're 3, right? What's your name? I'm Ada Johnson, she said. We'd never heard of Johnson. Chris arrived with a woman, saying, Can we wait for Rachel? That evening, Rachel staggered in, drunk. I'm here for Ada. I offered water. Is this your apology for this morning's nonsense? In the living room, Ada was on a woman's lap, Katie Johnson, her mother. Rachel was shocked. Chris dragged in a man, Noah, Rachel's lover. I never imagined my friend would cheat with my wife, Chris said. Noah blamed Rachel, who blamed him. Katie, furious, said, I never thought my husband would leave Ada with strangers. Rachel admitted using us to care for Noah's child, saying it's not wrong to teach a childless couple what it's like to have kids. We're trying to have children. I snapped. You knew that. Your remarks were infuriating, and you deceived us. Rachel and Noah were scolded, divorced, and disowned. Noah lost his job, and Rachel struggled to find work. Meanwhile, our fertility treatments worked. I'm pregnant with twins. John and I are overjoyed. We stay in touch with Katie and Ada, who play with Chris's Ada. The 4 of us, John, Chris, Katie, and I promise to raise our children together, forming a strong bond. And my name is Melissa, and my husband, Paul, is a light novel writer and freelancer. I support him as his secretary. One day at 3 p.m., the front door burst open. Paul's older sister, Donna, barged in. Paul, she shouted, slamming the living room door. She lives with their parents, but comes over daily, drinks tea, eats our snacks, and leaves. I'm in the middle of work, Paul said. It's fine, right? I want my tea. Are you serious? I muttered. Donna plopped onto the couch, crunching snacks loudly. Hey, you, sister-in-law, make me tea. Treating me like a maid, she's always been presumptuous. Paul's parents admonish her, but it doesn't stick. Do it yourself, I said. Don't get snarky, she shouted, scattering crumbs. Don't talk back. You're a newcomer to this family. I'm the eldest daughter. Listen to me. If you don't like it, get a divorce. Paul snapped, enough. You're a nuisance. Get out. He dragged her out, locking the chain. Next time you use the spare key, I won't forgive you. Donna whined but left after Paul called their parents. Since childhood, she treated Paul like a servant. After we married, he started standing up to her. She even flirted with our editor once, I said. We've got to do something. We plan to discuss it at their parents' 60th birthday celebration. At their house, Donna rushed downstairs. You set up the celebration, right? Where is it? She'd planned to skip it but changed her mind. Snatching the restaurant details, she sneered, the great writer, huh? Fancy restaurant. You're doing well. Melissa chose it, Paul said. Stop being rude. Donna stared at me. There we go. Paul, you see her true colors. At the celebration, she pointed at me. You're after our family's wealth. Wealth? We're middle class. Paul retorted. As the eldest, I'll inherit the house. You're targeting my parents. I don't understand, I said. You chose expensive restaurants to drain their money, she claimed, showing the documents. My father-in-law sighed. We're not paying. Melissa and Paul are. Donna was stunned. Melissa asked about places with our memories, my mother-in-law said. You're shameful. You don't need to stay. Go home, my father-in-law said. Donna begged, but they insisted she leave. She later struggled with jobs and housing. We continue working, enjoying our in-laws' company, and want no part of Donna's selfishness. My name is Isabella, 30 years old, living with my husband, Mark, and our 2-month-old son, Chris. We work at the same company, often collaborating. Initially, we lived in Mark's cramped apartment, but moved to a larger one, planning for a child. Browsing properties, I said, I don't want to quit work after having a child. You love your job, Isabella. Do what you like, Mark replied. But daycare competition is high. I brought up an idea. I'd like to live closer to my mother's house. She's alone since Dad passed. Why? She seems fine, he said reluctantly. It's better to have support nearby for our child. No, it'd be stressful seeing her often. I'll make sure it's not a burden, I insisted. No way. You won't work after birth, so we'll live on my income. Why should I deal with extra stress? That's selfish. We're not moving near your mother's. Hurt. I dropped it. We moved near our workplaces and lived peacefully until I got pregnant. I worked until maternity leave, visiting my mother often as Mark worked late. Anxious about raising our child alone, I told her, I'm excited but nervous. Mark yelled when I asked for help. Can I stay here after the baby's born? Of course, I'd love to support you, she said. That night, I told Mark I'm nervous about our first child. I need rest after birth, so I want to stay with Mom. What? You're kidding. I can't handle housework alone. Who'll cook and do laundry? I'm working. Can't you manage for a bit? You want me to do housework, too? You're a monster. He sighed. I'll handle chores for a month. No need to go to your mother's. Unsure but hopeful, I agreed. My mother was disappointed but supportive. After Chris was born, Mark helped minimally shopping and taking out garbage, but refusing childcare. One evening, he came home late. Dinner's not ready? You can't get Chris to sleep properly. He just fell asleep. Never mind, I'll bathe. After eating silently, he said, Mom fell and can't move her leg. His mother, who disliked me, needed assistance. Let's live with my parents, he said. It'll reduce Dad's burden. You refused to live near my mom, but now it's okay for you? Your mom's fine. Mine lives alone. You're not considering my anxieties. You're my wife. Listen to me. My affection vanished. It's decided. We're moving. Pack by tomorrow. I packed for me and Chris and went to my mother's. Mark called, furious. Where are you? At Mom's. I'm not returning. Get back here or we're getting a divorce. Fine, send the papers. You'll be jobless. I have no objections. He sent affectionate texts later, but I ignored them. My father-in-law scolded him, and Mark agreed to the divorce. I'm sorry my son caused trouble, my father-in-law said. Live your life, Isabella. Now, with my mother's help, I'm a single mom, working remotely and striving to be the best mother for Chris. My son and mother are enough for my happiness. Please feel free to comment below if you like this. Remember to like and subscribers for more.